Hello everyone, and I hope you're all doing very well. So I've had quite a few complaints lately that people can't get the communication system in DCS to work when communicating with AI-based elements, by which I mean aircraft carriers, ground-based ATCs, air-to-air refuelers, AI-based air fighters, and whatnot. And this is mainly just due to a misunderstanding of how the communication system works in DCS. So we're going to go through the logic today and show all the different steps that we have to do to get it to work in all of the different cases. So the first thing we have to ask ourselves is the mission that we're in, either a multiplayer mission or a single player mission, is the easy communications option turned on or is it turned off? Because that will determine how we will be communicating with the different AI elements. So we'll quickly jump into game now and show how we can determine that. So we can either be a multiplayer or a single player mission. So multiplayer here, and if we wait for the servers to populate and we start clicking on things, we click on the server that we're going to go to in the multiplayer, and we look down here on the options, we can see on this one, easy communication is off. This one, easy communications is yes, and so on. This one, easy communications is off. So that's how we would do that. And if we wanted to look at single player, I would go to the mission. Well, one of the ways we could do it is go to the mission editor here. I'm just going to call up a random single player mission. Just the last one I used, rapier.miz. Okay. So I have a single player mission open in the mission editor at the moment. This could also be used for multiplayer, but we're going to just treat it as single player at the moment. I'm going to go to the options here. And I can see that easy communication here is not ticked. So easy communication on this particular mission is turned off. So now we know whether easy communications is turned on or off. Let's look at yes. So if it's turned on, then we are going to understand that the FC3 planes in DCS are a little different in how they work with the high fidelity planes. So the FC3 planes, in case you don't know, are the F-15C, the A-10A, the Su-25 variants, the MiG-29 variants, and the Su-27. And the high fidelity planes are anything else. Another way of saying it is that the FC3 planes do not have a clickable cockpit. The high fidelity planes do have a clickable cockpit. And the reason why they're split like this is because the high fidelity planes, we can tune the radios in manually. In the FC3 planes, we can't. Now, when easy communications is turned on, we can actually use these two different types of aircraft the same. So we can use for both of these types of aircraft the easy communications method. So I'm going to jump into DCS and show that now. Okay, so here's our map. Here's our aircraft we'll be flying. It's the Hornet because that's the most popular aircraft out there. It's going to help the most people. Here we have a blue base that's close to us, Abu Musa. Here we have a Stennis carrier called Ben. Here we have a tanker called Tanker 1 and a series of other bases that we can talk to. And we have here another Stennis called Jack, who's further away. Okay, and we're going to go to the mission options. We're going to turn on easy communications. So on. For this example, save. In we go. Okay, so we can use the easy communications method here to talk to anyone. And we can do this in any aircraft that we like. So the first thing we have to know is the button we have to press. So escape, adjust controls, and you want to find this thing here. So put this in the relevant aircraft, put this in all, and look for a communications menu. And that is the button there that's bound to it. If for some reason that button doesn't work, double click on it with the mouse, press another button to change it to another one. Okay. It's backslash for me, so I'm going to press backslash. And up comes our options here. This is our main menu for who we can communicate to with the easy communications method. We've got a tanker, and we've only got one tanker, and that's him Texago at 129 megahertz, which I set in the mission editor, or ATC, and that is a list of all of the contactable ATCs on the map. And they are ordered in terms of distance. So Abu Masa is the closest possible ATC, then this CV here, the ship, then Sharjah International, Dubai International, and so on. So if I were to pause that and look on F10, that's me here. You can see that is the closest guy, Abu Masa. Then this Stennis here by the name of Ben, and the next closest was Sharjah, Dubai, and whatnot. So that's how that works. Now, if I wanted to actually do the contacting, so I press communications menu again. Let's say we want to contact that Stennis Ben. I would go ATC. I would go, that Stennis there, which is the second closest ATC. And I will press inbound, and what it's going to do is set my radio up for me and contact him.
Marshall 11, March Mops 064413, Angels 6.9, State 10.5.
And he will reply to me.
111, fly heading 212, Fort 17, QFE 29.93, runway 00, to pattern altitude.
Okay, and then I can follow up with abort inbound or request azimuth. If I just got rid of that by pressing F12, you can see that if it goes like that, I can just press the communications menu again, and we can continue there. If we wanted to get out, we could press the parent menu there. But let's say I want to request the azimuth.
111, request navigation assistance. 111, ADS, you're heading 197.
And that's it. If I wanted to speak to him again, then I'll press comms menu again, and I could do whatever I need to do. If I wanted to do something else, I go back to parent menu and I could contact the tanker or whatever. If you're going to go and do something else, don't forget that you will need to, if I go back to here, abort inbound first. You don't want to do multiple tasks at once. So you told him now we've cut communication with him, we're going to go do something else. So comms menu, tanker, let's go and talk to the tanker.
Texaco 111, request rejoin. 111, Texaco, proceed to pre-contact at 7,000.
So that shows using any of the aircraft how to communicate to AI-based entities with the easy communication method, assuming easy communications is turned on. Now let's assume that easy communications is turned off. So first of all, if we're in an FC3 plane, as explained earlier, then the only way to do communications with it turned off is actually the same way as before, the easy communications method, and that will work fine in an FC3 plane because that's the only way that we can work those radios with the easy communications method. But for a high fidelity aircraft, we can no longer use that easy communications method. For the high fidelity aircraft, we have to tune and work our radio manually. The first thing we have to do is we have to find the radio frequency of the AI controlled element that we want to communicate. And once we have that frequency or those frequencies, then we have to manually tune and use the radio in our high fidelity aircraft to contact that AI-based element. So we're going to jump into DCS now and show using a high-fidelity plane with easy communication turned off and using the radio manually. So options, easy communications turned off. Okay, we're in. So the first thing to note is that pressing the communications menu button, so if you remember that was that one there, no longer works. I'm pressing it and it no longer works because that's only to be used where easy communications is turned on. So that means we have to use our radio manually by pressing the buttons and setting everything up, and this is a little more difficult. The first thing we have to know, I'm just going to pause that, is we need to know the frequencies in this case because we're doing everything manually. We need to know the frequencies of the entities that we want to talk to. For a ground base, this is very easy. If I want to talk to Abu Massa, I can click on Abu Massa there, and I can see that his frequencies are listed for me. He is 122.900, and he's got it in three different. He's got. If you know about radios, this is obvious. If you don't know about radios, this is going to be a little more difficult. What I can tell you is that there is VHF amplitude modulation. That is UHF amplitude modulation. That is low VHF amplitude modulation. That is also AM, and that's super low frequencies. So you have to understand about frequencies a bit to know which one to use. But generally, if you go for VHF AM, just about 118 to 150, something like that, then that's going to be the one you want to pick. Worst case scenario, if you really don't understand them, just try them all. So we're going to pick 122.90 to talk to Abu Massa. But what about the carrier, the Stennis, and what about the air-to-air refueler? How do we contact them? If I click on them, there's no frequency. It doesn't tell us our frequency. This is something I'd like to see added to DCS, but we don't have it at the moment. Same with this Stennis. All we can see is that it's Stennis. His name is Ben, but we don't have a frequency. Do we have the name of it? Yeah, we have the name of the tanker. We can see it's called Tanker 1, but nothing else. So to get these guys' frequency, the only way I know of doing it is to go to the briefing page. So if I go back to F1 and I go left, Alt, and Bravo, it brings up the briefing. And in the briefing, whoever made the mission should have the hindsight to put all of the frequencies in here. If we go to situation here, Texaco Tanker 1 is 129 megahertz amplitude modulation, and the CV Ben is 128 megahertz AM. If the guy who made the mission has not put this in here, then I don't know any way how to get the frequency of the tanker and the CV. During a multiplayer mission, when you're browsing the multiplayer servers and you click on the multiplayer server and it gives you the details, sometimes it has it in that page there, but it should be in here in the briefing. What we can do now is actually start contacting these guys, and the way we're going to do it is specific for every aeroplane. You have to know how to use the radio in each aeroplane. Now, I've done a video of how to use the radio in every single aircraft, so there's no excuse. You should all have the ability to go to my YouTube page, click on the tutorial section in the aircraft that you want, and watch the radio video, and it will tell you exactly how to use the radio, but we'll just show using the Hornet in this one. So first, I want to talk to the CV Ben, okay? So what I'm going to do is, I'm a bit rusty in Hornet, I haven't done this for a while, so excuse me. So I'm going to turn the knob here to manual. I'm going to type in, what was it, 128000, enter. Okay. Now I'm going to press the button to actually use the push to talk on this particular aircraft on comms 1. I think from memory, this guy here, comm switch comm 1 for the Hornet. Now this will be different for every airplane you fly. Like I said, you'll just have to go and watch my videos for that. So left Alt and backslash, there we go. And I want to talk to, was it the tanker or the ATC? I think it was the tanker, wasn't it? Tanker. And I want to intend to, sorry, no, the CV was 128, wasn't it? My bad. So previous menu. ATC. Again, it will put this in order of things that are close to you. So the closest is Abu Massa, but the frequency I've selected is CV. Click on CV, inbound.
Marshall 11, marking MOPS 070-413, Angels 6.1, state 10.6.
And there he comes back to me. Okay, what I'm going to do is now abort that because I now want to go and talk to the tanker.
Inbound, resuming mission.
So next I'm going to change the frequency. So manual, clear 129000, enter. Right, backslash for the Hornet, tanker, intend to refuel.
Texaco 111, request rejoin. 111, Texaco, proceed to pre-contact at 7,000.
Okay, abort refuel.
Abort rejoin.
And now we're going to contact the ground station Abu Massa. What was it? 122.90, assuming we can get that in the Hornet. Some planes, because this is a realistic simulation, some planes just won't be able to get some of these frequencies on their radios. That's just how it is. That's life. So we're in here again. Clear 122900. Ping. So now I'm going to write backslash for the Hornet, ATC, Abu Massa, inbound.
111.
And there you go. We've now contacted. So that's showing how to use the high fidelity plane with the easy communications option turned off. I guess the only thing I'd like to add is that the high fidelity plane with the easy communications option turned on, you can, if you like, also use the manual mode. You don't have to, but you usually just use the easy communications method for ease. So that shows the logic in all of the circumstances, how you can contact the different elements. I hope that's cleared everything up, and I'll see you later.